Your sector, some of your stocks up 12, 13, 14, 15% yesterday. Do you think those kinds of gains, not sustainable on a daily basis, but does that reflect the real change in their outlook?
Yeah, Brian, good morning. I think there's no doubt that what we were waiting on was this announcement of a vaccine. It is a game changer. It will take time to phase in, of course. We've got 2 or 3 really tough quarters coming up, I think, with a little fundamental change. Should we get another package from the government, especially one with targeted aid for the lodging industry, that would certainly be helpful. Because I think we find ourselves in a really difficult time right now with hotels closing, with bankruptcies looming, not in the public sector so much, but certainly among the private owners. So we could use a bridge to get from here to, say, the 3rd or 4th quarter of next year. But no doubt this is a game-changing moment for the industry.
Yeah, we'll say this. I was just out on the road the last couple of weeks, driving through Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan. I was actually a little bit surprised at the level of activity I noticed at some of the hotels that we stayed in. Of course, a lot of cars with out-of-state licenses. People are driving, they're not flying. How is core demand right now? Not looking out to the vaccine, but right now, have anybody except for us ding-dongs who go out for the election, were we the only ones out there?
No, listen, I think you break it into 3 segments. You talk about leisure travel, and leisure demand has stayed pretty good right through the summer and actually beyond the typical Labor Day period where you would turn leisure off. You look at core corporate transient demand, those of us in business that go out for 1 or 2 nights, very, very little travel demand from that segment. And then you look at group, and between group and business transient, that's 60 to 70% of typical business in the hotel industry. There is no group business, and it's been canceled not just through this year, but as you look into March, April, May of next year, you're still seeing the cancellations. The book of business out there for the second half of next year, should we get this vaccine out and distributed, confidence levels up, actually looks pretty good. 2022 looks really good. So it's just a matter of getting that confidence in healthcare up to open the floodgates for what should be a return to normal over the next couple of years.
Do you think they're going to have, let's start with hotels, Bill, have pricing power? Airlines have shelved, half their planes, so demand comes back. They can charge more for the seats, unless they're not going to roll those planes all just back into business all at once. Hotels, though, they're just sitting there kind of empty. Will hotel capacity be where it was, or will they actually have some pricing power when demand begins to return?
Yeah, there won't be much pricing power for a while. Past downturns have shown us that that's the last thing to return. You will get an occupancy boost, obviously. You are seeing some really impressive cost-cutting actions by the owners and the management companies. And that should allow EBITDA levels, for example, to get back to 2019 levels before we see revenue per available room get back. So there are some offsets there. But no, rate is going to be the last thing to come back.
And name 1 or 2 stocks that are your favorite recommendations right now, Bill.
Yeah, among the big brand companies, we like Hilton. They continue to have an oversized presence in select service area, and they don't have the franchise or ownership, so it's a fee-driven model. I think among the REITs, you look at somebody like a Raymond Hospitality. 70% of their business is group, which means it's been wiped out. But the booking window is so long that you have great confidence in what lies ahead toward the end of next year and in 2022. So you don't have to rebuild that base of business, and many of those contracts were locked in at higher prices.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.